I didn't believe in ghosts. Not because I was brave, but because belief never paid my bills. At 24, life already felt older than it should have. My days were split between exhaustion and responsibility. My mother's lungs were slowly giving up, each breath sounding thinner than the last. My younger brother talked about plans the way other people talked about dreams, vaguely and without urgency. And somehow everything depended on me. So when the city offered me a job as a 911 emergency call operator, I didn't hesitate. Night shift, extra pay, benefits. That was enough. The call center was underground, 2 floors beneath the police department. No windows, no clocks, no sunlight. Just endless cubicles, glowing monitors, and fluorescent lights that buzzed constantly, like tired insects trapped in glass. The air was always cold. Not refreshing cold, preservation cold. The kind that keeps bodies alert and emotions numb. On my first night, a supervisor named Marrow stood in front of the room. He looked hollow, like someone who slept but never rested. "There's only one rule that actually matters here," he said. We all straightened. "Never hang up first." A few people chuckled nervously. Marrow didn't. "Doesn't matter if they're screaming, doesn't matter if they're silent, doesn't matter if they beg you to." He paused. "Because once a line disconnects, it doesn't always go where you think." No one asked questions. We needed the job too badly. The first few nights were normal. Domestic disputes, drunk drivers, panic attacks, people crying because they didn't know who else to call. It was heavy, but manageable. Then came Thursday night. At exactly 2:17 a.m., my screen flickered. No caller ID, no GPS location, just a blinking incoming line. That alone was strange. I adjusted my headset. 911, what's the location of your emergency?" Static answered me. Not the usual crackle. This sounded thicker, layered, almost damp, like breathing through fabric. I repeated the question. That's when I heard footsteps. Slow, uneven, dragging, bare skin against concrete. My fingers curled into the edge of the desk. "Ma'am? Sir?" A woman whispered something so faint I almost missed it. "Can you still hear me?" A chill slid down my spine. "Yes," I said carefully. "I can hear you. What's your address?" She didn't answer. The breathing grew heavier. Then, click. Deadline. I logged it as unresponsive caller, protocol, but my hands were shaking. The next night, it happened again. Same time, 2:17 a.m. Different number. Same breathing, same dragging footsteps. This time, she spoke before I could. "Please don't hang up." My stomach tightened. "How do you know I was going to?" I asked. She exhaled slowly. "Because they always do." I glanced toward my supervisor's desk. He wasn't watching. "What's your emergency?" I asked. She paused. Then she said my name. Not my badge number, not my login ID, my real name. My mouth dried. "How do you know that?" I whispered. She ignored the question. "They told me help was coming." Behind her, I heard sirens, police, ambulances, fire trucks, all overlapping, but none of them getting closer. "They never came," she said. Then she screamed. Not loud, not dramatic, like someone realizing the moment had already passed. The line stayed open. I flagged the call immediately. My supervisor frowned at the screen. "System glitch," he muttered. Then he deleted the log. I stared at him. "Why did you erase that?" He met my eyes for barely a second. "Forget it," he said quietly. "Trust me." That was the moment the job stopped feeling normal. I started noticing things. Operators stiffening when the clock neared 2:15, supervisors hovering nearby, desks that were never used. I began digging. Old call logs, archived training files, internal records no one talked about. There was a pattern. Every night shift operator who stayed longer than a year had logged calls from an unidentified source, always between 2:15 and 2:20, always unresolved, always deleted after 30 days. But the worst part, operators who handled more than 3 of those calls never stayed. Some quit overnight, some transferred departments without explanation. 2 died at their desks. Heart failure, the report said. Their headsets were still plugged in. On my 5th night, she called again. "I'm stuck between calls," she said. "What does that mean?" I asked. She laughed softly. It sounded like glass cracking underwater. "I took a call once," she said. "I froze." My chest tightened. I didn't send help fast enough. Behind her, I heard chaos, crying, shouting, sirens looping endlessly. "They said I quit, but I never left." Her breathing grew louder. "He's watching me now." "Who?" I asked. The static surged violently. Then she said, "You will be soon." After that night, I stopped sleeping. When I closed my eyes, I heard breathing, footsteps, static. I started hearing the call center even when I wasn't there, the hum of lights, the distant ringing of phones. At work, the clock crawled toward 2:17 like it knew what it was doing. On my 7th night, I finally found the truth, a restricted training file buried deep in the system. 16 years old, a mass casualty incident, multiple vehicle crashes, multiple fatalities. The operator assigned to the call froze. Help was delayed. People died. She collapsed at her desk mid-shift. Heart attack. Her headset was still on. The call never disconnected. And the system never forgot. At 2:16 a.m., my screen lit up again. Same line, same static. But this time, I didn't speak first. "Please don't hang up," the woman whispered. "I know," I said quietly. She was silent for a long moment. Then she said, "They always think they're stronger." "I won't freeze," I replied. She laughed. "They all say that." Behind her, I heard screaming, many voices, overlapping, endless. This is what waiting sounds like. My heart hammered. "What do you want from me?" Another pause. "I want you to understand. Once you hear everything, you don't get to leave." The static grew louder, and then the call transferred. My screen showed a new line. Active incident, no location found. I heard my own voice, crying, begging, "Please don't hang up." My hands trembled. I realized then what she had become, what the system made her into. A test, a warning, a replacement. At 2:18 a.m., the supervisor rushed toward me. "Disconnect," he whispered. "Now!" I looked at him. "You said never hang up first." His face broke. "That rule is for them, not for you." I understood too late. I stayed on the line. The next morning, my desk was empty, my badge deactivated, my name removed from the roster. They said I quit. They said stress got to me. But every night at 2:17 a.m., a new operator hears breathing, footsteps, a voice whispering, "Please don't hang up." And somewhere in the static, I'm still there.